This video is about a bearing change. So this is my bearings, brand new bearings from RT's Jet, and I do a complete tear down this time because I want to make sure there was no blockage to the rear bearing, which is this one right here. And if you notice, it's very dark and discolored. While the front bearing, you know, the front bearing don't have much E to contend with because it's at the front, and this is closer to the outside, but it really look discolored and kind of run a little coarse. So I want to make sure that there wasn't no blockage, so I actually dismantled the tunnel, the actual tunnel for the rear bearing. The rear bearing sit back here, and if you look, you'll see the pipe sticking out to feed to lube the rear bearing, and it comes through this device right here, which is like a reducer, and it limits the amount of fuel going to the bearing. So this actually feed both front and rear bearing, and so it can assemble like this, right? Like that. Screw down into the diffuser, and it feed the main line, feed this little pipe right here. It's a pipe, and that pipe feed the front part of the bearing right here. To go through this little, I actually plugged this. I don't know why they have this hole there, so I plugged this hole, but it go through this one burner to see how it's burning, and if it burns equally, then it's good. Look like I got a little business card where I just squeeze out the Loctite, and I'm applying it from there. This is not the best way to do this, but I don't have a choice. Okay, that's it. I see you. I see you. Next step is to put these nuts on and then fully secure it. In fact, I'm just gonna dip these in it, just a thread. All right, when it's finished, I'll. Okay, so I just get this. Like that, and next is to put in the bearing and the compressor. Now we are installing the NGV. I put some Loctite on it. It doesn't make sense, but it can't hurt nothing either. So it has some split rings, that washer that actually act as a something to stop it from turning, stop the screws from backing out. So I'm going to bend these little rings in the hole to prevent the screws from backing out, so you kind of get them there with some brute force. That's one, that's two, three, and my dad always said the last one always give trouble. So that's the last one, and it's giving trouble. Not really. So now I'm going to tap the pin inside of it. Use some light. While you're tapping, be careful not to damage these intake or get them dirty. I should have something kind of put a tape over them or something. Okay. And that's it. Next step is to install. Oh, I should not this here. Next step is to put the bearing on. All right. So the next thing is, if you look carefully, you'll see an arrow. And that arrow means that's the direction it pressed against itself of where it would shell out based on the angle of the inside, the inner race. It's not a race, I don't know what I call it. The next thing is these two pieces right here, these two washers. This is what space the spacer for the bearing and the bolt and the turbine wheel. Well, it's obvious which one belongs to which side, even though one is kind of thicker than the other. The turbine side is thicker, but because of how dark it is, you could tell that this side goes to the turbine wheel. So for the shaft, I'm going to install the bearing. As I'm looking at the arrow, I'm going towards the thread, so I'm pushing it on. Then I put in the washer on it like that, and then the turbine wheel will be going on top of it. Okay, and that's it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it to the shaft. I'm going to tighten this wheel, and I'm going to balance it. Hell no, I'm not going to balance it, because I marked it. The mark is on the shaft. And I know people are going to talk bullshit. Mark here, but you'll see it run at full capacity without any vibration. And these threads, it's normally it tighten this way, tighten clockwise, and this one tighten anti-clockwise. All right. Yeah. Okay. So the next step is to install the front bearing. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to dip it in oil just to make it introduced to oil before the engine starts. Okay. And now I'm going to install it. So there's two. So this one, as I said, both of them turn the opposite way. One turn this way, one turn this way. The shaft is in the middle, so it kind of stabilizes the shaft from going. Well, it does where it thrusts. The thrust is pushing that way. All right, so there's thrust washers, and these called the thrust washers because they're wavy, and these going inside. These are going inside. Just like that. Then the bearing with the arrow pointing upward go inside. Like that. And now the spacer for the compressor go in between. And the compressor, there is a spacer here that sits between the front compressor and the bearing housing, and this is what keeps it from going forward. So I'm going to see if I can assemble this piece. It's already in, and then get back to you guys. So after I put the spacer, after you compress this C-clamp to secure it. I bought this from Amazon. It's a multi-tool, a lot of C-clamp tool in there. So I'm gonna use this to compress. Yep. So just install the C-clamp and tap on it to make sure it's seated in there, just like this. Just a gentle tap. So if it's sitting on the outside of the ring, it will just fall in place. Okay, sound good. Now the compressor is installed now. And I'm gonna line the compressor with the turbine wheel. So that mark. Okay, the next step is the compressor housing. Let's do it. There you go. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 screws to put down. So my battery is getting low, so I'm going to save battery by just installing the screws, and then you'll see the finished product. Okay, so I just put on the compressor housing. I already put the washer, the O-rings on each pipe. This is the one-piece solenoid. Clever design. I like this. So instead of back then you used to have two solenoid, now you have one piece and into a little device there. A little what do you call it? Aluminum splitter, and it actually can channel either fuel from the kerosene start, then switch over to the pump voltage, the pump fuel to run the engine. Okay, let me line this up. Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go. And I'm going to screw on the board, and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, so it's coming along. Kind of stop a little bit, but now to connect the glow plug wire, and you have two screws. So you know which one is the right one. Is the one that's at the plus sign. So the other one is probably going to ground, and this is the voltage that feed the glow plug wire. So we're going to punch it in there. All right. What we're going to do next is tighten on it, tighten it down. Okay. So not much left, just to put the temperature probe and the coil housing. So I'll just do that, and when I've done, I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so here is the finished product. I just need to screw on the cone, take it to the field. It's getting late on me here, so I'm gonna leave. But I'm gonna put the cone on, and the next thing next video is gonna be it starting up and running, and we do a good test flight on it. Thanks for watching, everybody.